Welcome back to Stamping at the Warren, and I'm Kim Tolton, and today I am starting to share with you, as I did yesterday. I'm just grabbing some other little boxes so I can show you. So we're now in the run up to Christmas, so I'm concentrating on gift tags, gift packaging, treat boxes, gift boxes, all of those sorts of things. So today I'm starting with the gift bag punch board, and I will have a photo or full photos of these on my blog, but I will also be doing a photo of the group shot of all of these. So these all come from the same designer series pack, and the name of which has completely gone from me now. Winter Wonderland. So it's the Winter Wonderland Specialty Designer Series paper, and these are all double-sided. So this is the size that I'm going to be sharing with you today, purely because it's the only one I can really get in shot, whereas the other ones, this is made from a 12-inch long piece of cardstock or designer series paper. No, that's the 8-inch, that's the 12-inch, that's a little 6-inch, and they come in either small, medium and large. So I'm going to be showing you one of the smaller boxes today, with smaller bags today, and I'll also show you the tags that I've been using, and the finishing off. Now I may have to look at my script for a time or two. I have been gift bagged out today. My poor brain is really on meltdown, so forgive me if I start going, oh God, I can't remember the sizes for this one, because I've been doing it in all the different sizes. It's the same principle, it's just that you have to use a different gauge for the width on whether it's a small, medium and large bag. So I'm going to pop that to one side, and this is a gift bag punch board. It's tiny really compared to all the other ones, but you can do up to a 12-inch piece of designer series paper. If you've got something like Whisper White or very vanilla cardstock, it will probably punch that okay, but I have found it might just be mine because I haven't used it massively and the punch is still very tight. So you may find that with time, as it loosens up, that it's easier to punch, but I found not particularly easy for punching those cardstocks that are a little bit thicker. Anyhow, so the piece of cardstock or designer series, so this is Winter Wonderland, it comes double-sided. All of them in the pack come double-sided, so you can mess around and play around with them as you choose. I've gone for the this lovely tree one, and I'm going with a piece of cardstock that is 12 inches long, or wide I should say, so the width is 12 inches and the depth is 6 inches, so the height of the box is 6 inches. Obviously it's less than 6 inches, about 4 inches high once it's made, because of the flaps at the bottom. Now when you're doing anything that's one directional, you do need to make sure, because these are going to be the flaps, this makes the flaps, so you need to make sure that your piece of designer series paper is up this way, otherwise you end up with all your Christmas trees pointing in the wrong direction, which is exactly what I did a little while ago before shooting, because this was the last box that I made. Right, so I'm just going to show you around the board first. So what you have is, this is the main punch, this is the start line, so that lines up at that end and it's in line with a little punch in there that gives you the notched flaps. this is your triangle with a side scoring line down here, and what that creates is the, you know, the little triangular shape at the base of a gift bag. So it allows it, so let's show you here, so this little triangle here, so it allows the bag to be closed up. So that's what this bit here does. And basically the rest of the box is just a repeat twice, a 2 times repeat. Then you've got a horizontal score line, so this is where it will mark the long score line for your tabs. And then you've got your second sidebar, which again is to do with making the side pieces. Then you have small, medium and large, and we're going to be working with the large scale today. So the first thing you want to do, now this goes back here, okay, so don't be tempted to just go as far as here. You've got to get your paper right in until you feel it butting up. Make sure you keep it square. Do make sure that your trimmer is nice and accurate, otherwise you'll find it just doesn't come out as well as it could. Right, so the first thing you're going to do is bring this up to the start line, and then you're going to punch, and that's going to create the first little notch. And then you and I've lost my scoring tool. Oh my goodness, where have I put that? My goodness, I've been working with it all day. I think it's managed to get underneath my piece of grid paper. Yes. Oh dear, I had a bit of panic there. Right, so you're going to go, I keep my finger here, okay, because that will stop you going off the edge. You need a very light touch with this particular paper pack, because it is quite thin and you can tear it, so just go gentle. So you do the horizontal score line, keep your finger there just to make sure you don't go off the edge and make a hole, okay. And then where the large is, if you put your scoring tool, and this comes in a little groove here with the board, so just very gently find the groove and just down, okay. You're then going to move all of this over until this score line matches up with that start line, and from there you're going to punch, and then you're going to do the triangle. Then this notch here, you come down, and then where it's got side, just find the notch and score there. So that will be the side piece of one of your ends. So that's going to create this bit here, okay. And then you go to, I have to, this is where I always go wrong, so I don't want to tell it to you wrong. So we've done our first triangle and our first side, so we then bring this score line here, and let me just double check with a start punch. So yes, we line this up here, so you can line it up with the start line, and you can also line it up with where the edge of the punch is in there. And then we're going to go across again, just to make that line there, and you come down, because we are on the large, you just want to find that large groove again and come down, and gently does it. With the thicker paper packs, you'll find you won't have a problem at all. It's just this one is a bit thinner than the others. So then you move back to your score line, your start line, you punch, and you score the triangle, you score across, you come down, and you come down again here. And this will be the little tab at the end that allows you to adhere the bag together. And if you turn it over, you can probably see some of the ridges properly there. And the final thing that you just want to do is you bring this end here down into the punch, and that creates your last notch. This is quite a plasticised cardstock designer series paper pack, so it doesn't necessarily punch cleanly with this one. I find that the proper paper, rather than this, it punches absolutely fine. So you should end up with 2 wide. No, and I'm missing a notch here, look, I knew I had. So you can you see there, I've missed a notch. So let's pop that in there. There should be 2 narrow. It's very difficult underneath the lights here to keep tabs. So you should have 2 large and 2 narrower. And if you fold it up, you should, essentially, it should fold flat. So when you do come around to sticking it together, there you go. And then you just want to go along all of those score lines. I just use my fingers with this one because it is quite a thin paper. And I'd rather do that than end up tearing it, which you don't want, do you? So just your finger. If you've got a very gentle touch, you can use your bone folder as well. If you want your folds a bit crisper, I like a bit of tension when I'm doing gift bags and gift boxes because it tends to hold together a little bit better. And what you will find is on the edge here, you just need to trim away that notch. There's excess to the requirements. And all you need is a couple of bits of tape. So you want a piece of tape. Let's turn it over the right way so I have got my Christmas trees and not the crackle. Okay, right, so you want this tab along the edge here. You want a piece of tear and tape and tear, whichever way round it is. And then before you start folding and forming your bag, on one of these larger tabs you just want to put a couple of strips because they're quite wide, and it would just also help support whatever gift or goodies you've got in there. You could even use these for gift cards, you know, and be something a little bit different. Pop some kitchen towel, pop some tissue paper, that's what I was after, in there, and bump it up and leave their card in there or some money. Right, so just fold your flap over with the adhesive. I've taken the strip off, and if you fold it over, basically it folds flat. There you go. And you always know if you've got it right, because if you haven't got it right you won't be able to do that. And then just, that's your bag, your side with your adhesive on. So you want to pop those in there. Take your adhesive off. Make sure your box is square. Down it goes, and then just use your hands or a ruler, something along those lines, just to make that bottom nice and flat and taped up. And then you just want to pinch these side pieces, so where the score lines are along here, use those to guide. Score down a little bit, and then this punch comes into its own again. So you could, if you have a small bag, this bit here will do you 2 holes, but when it's a large bag, you have to sort of do each hole individually. So this is your centre line here. There's 1 hole. Second hole, and that's the reverse punch, so it's the opposite end here to the other punch that does your tabs. And I'm going to use some black ribbon just to keep it all coordinated, and these are nice big holes, so you can get even really wide ribbon through these. Okay, now this is the way I do ribbons. So I tie the knot with the bag or card facing me. I then put my finger on it, on the knot, swizzle it round, and then I make my bow by putting the tails backwards, so you form 2 loops. And then this one goes backwards as well. So you've got 2 loops roughly the same size. Do your ribbon, your bow. And then when you turn it around, you have a bow that is facing the right way. You can play around with your ribbon tails till you're happy. Snip them off, tidy up the ends, and that's the basic bag done. And as you can see, I have got the Christmas trees round the right way this time. So the last little bit to do is the tag, and I'm using the Merry Everything, and I'm going to be using this Merry Everything one here, and this does come as a bundle with the coordinating punch, and you've got a Merry Christmas, Grateful for You, a Halloweeny one, a proper to and from tag, the Merry Christmas plus this one, and I just think this is lovely. And I've decided to put this onto shimmery Whisper White cardstock. Can you see the glimmer? Very subtle, it's almost pearlescent, but it is definitely a glittery effect. So this is what I'm going to use for the tag. So I'm using the Archival Basic Black ink pad. You will need some StazOn ink cleaner to clean up the stamp properly, as it won't come off with the ordinary Stampin' mist. And up, lovely. Look at that. Isn't that sweet? And then the punch is here, which is the tag punch. And it just goes in. Do it upside down so you can see what you're doing. Do your best to get an even border all the way around. There you go. Right, we've now got the tag punched out, which was stamped onto the, and I've forgotten the name, it's like a pearlescent, shimmery, that's it, shimmery Whisper White cardstock, which just has that little glimmer. But now you obviously need to attach your tag onto your little bag, and you can see here I've used silver cording trim, which is this lovely twine here, metallic twine, and it just naturally loops, so it's great for gift packaging. Acts a bit like curling ribbon, and it just has that, because it's metallic, has that lovely sparkle. Now I thought, I haven't tried this, but what I thought was, rather than going and finding another punch or a die to put the hole in your tag, I thought we would give it a go of trying to use the reverse punch on the gift bag punch board. So if you line up, and I'm just taking a guesstimate here, so line the edge of the cardstock with the edge of the punch, the reverse punch here, give a punch, now fingers crossed, dun dun dun, and you've got a little hole ready for your twine to go through. So all you need to do then is thread that through with some silver cording trim and loop it behind the ribbon, the black ribbon, tie a knot and tie a bow, and there you have a lovely little gift bag, and you can easily turn that little tag over so that you can write your little greeting on there. So I hope you've enjoyed that for today. I'll be back with another gift bag packaging type of idea tomorrow. And don't forget that you can find all of the information on my various social media, my blog, my online store, etc. In the more information below today's video. I also put a full typed up tutorial onto my blog at www.stampingatthewarren.blogspot.co.uk, and I'd love to hear from you if you have any suggestions of topics you would like covered. If you've got any questions and you'd like a question and answer sort of thing where we're actually I'm kind of face on to you rather than you looking down, any suggestions like that, just drop me a line. I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, I'll see you again tomorrow. Ta-ta for now.